Please take your seats. Proceedings are now resumed. We are going to now examine the appropriations to the Minister of Financial Services and Home Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, before we start, I would like to propose an order that we will take the votes in, if you would allow the logical groupings of financial services matters to be dealt with first, and then Home Affairs. And the order that I am proposing is to deal with FSC 20, which is actually the ministry itself, then FSC 21, FSC 22, FSC 23, OA1, and if the committee would allow CMA 1 through 5 as a, taken together, that is Macy, and also MOA 6, 8, 12, 13, and 14, if the committee would allow to take those together. Obviously, discussions as necessary if the committee has anything to say on those matters. Then NGS 85, then TP 85, OE 94, and that would complete the financial services related subject matters. Then moving to Home Affairs, starting with FSC 30, 31, taking FSC 32 and 33 together, FSC 34, FSC 35.
Minister, I got it now.
Oh,
I've got the order now.
You got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
the rest of it, we just have that. We'll deal with it as Home Affairs.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. I just was trying to be very clear with what I want, but thank you very much.
Right,
So
we'll get started then with FSC 20, delivery of enhanced financial, public safety, and national security services. $2,337,825 in 2018 and $2,203,586 in 2019. Any questions? All in favor of FSC 20, delivery of enhanced financial, public safety, and national security services for $2,337,825 in 2018 and $2,203,586 in 2019. Standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. FSC 21, Framework for Modern Innovative Financial Services Industry. $2,070,497 in 2018 and $2,119,194 in 2019. Questions?
aye.
There are no questions. All those in favor of FSC 21, Framework for a Modern Innovative Financial Services Industry, $2,070,497 in 2018 and $2,119,194 in 2019. Standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. FSC 22.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we take FSC 22 down to FSC 34 in block. To 35, FSC 22 to FSC 35 in block.
Everyone comfortable? All those in favor, I'm just so you go straight to the vote.
Yeah.
All those in favor of FSC 22, a robust, efficient regime for the registration of corporate and vital information, $2,231,022 in 2018, $2,310,279 in 2019. FSC 23, International Corporation in Tax Matters, $2,137,491 in 2018 and $2,176,542 in 2019. FSC 30, National Disaster Preparedness and Response Services, $1,423,407 in 2018, and $1,547,867 in 2019. FSC 31, Electronic Monitoring and Incident Response, $4,056,511 in 2018, and $4,183,060 in 2019. FSC 32, Domestic Fire Services, for $7,696,350 in 2018, and $8,021,546 in 2019. FSC 33, Aerodrome Fire Services, $6,763,085 in 2018, and $7,092,103 in 2019. FSC 34, Prison Custodial Services, $11,390,803 in 2018, $11,497,581 in 2019, and FSC 35, Correctional Supervision, Intervention and Support Services, $7,898,155 in 2018, and $8,367,734 in 2019. All standing part of the schedule to the bill. Please say aye.
Aye.
Those against?
No.
The ayes have it.
Division.
Madam Clerk, please call a division.
No, and I think that I can outsmart people all the time.
You already abstained on the budget.
Alden did what he wants to do. He's now with McKeever.
Mr.
He's
Chairman,
now with McKeever. That's the old habit they have. Alden catch
Mr. Chairman, this is, what do we just do here?
Member from Newlands, I had a proposal from I called the meeting to order, and we proceeded to move to discuss the votes, and I had a proposal from the government bench to take them in block.
In the absence of the majority of the opposition members.
We did have a quorum.
I just want to register something, Mr. Chairman. I sat here after the lunch break for 20 minutes, waiting on the Minister for Health. After the dinner break, another 20 minutes. We didn't have to do that.
Sure, we have to do so.
I just want to register that this really wasn't handled properly.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, sir,
Mr. Chairman.
I have sat here until 11:30 at night to keep a quorum for this committee. This opposition has done that. Mr. Chairman, you too, sir, have a responsibility to ensure that the minority is protected. You do not, sir, in parliamentary procedures, need to accept a motion to do that. You have asked us here to form a quorum. Quorums are formed by the government. You have started this committee with the 5 members out here and only 5 on that side, thus creating a quorum. And I appreciate I have a job to do. I did not recognize the time, so I didn't come in on time. But you too, sir, have a responsibility to protect the minority. And that's up to you. If this is the way you want to conduct your committee, with those type of behaviors from the government, then that's your job. That is up to you. You made that decision. But I would respectfully say to you, sir, you should also look out for the minority.
Your point is taken.
Mr. Chairman, you conducted these proceedings quite properly, sir. You called the meeting to order. We did not rush into anything. The minister waited for her staff to file in, take their seats. She went through ad nauseum how she wanted to go through the proceedings. There was at least 15 minutes after you called meeting to order for the opposition to file in. They chose, those two who spoke, not to, and the proceedings began. We went through one or two of the items, two heads, before the Honorable Speaker moved the block vote because there was no debate indicated and no opposition. So for a suggestion to be made that somehow you have acted improperly, sir, is just wrong. Members have an obligation to be here to do their jobs and not to whine and complain when you do your job.
So, Mr. Chairman, I agree. Members have to be here to do their job. But there are a couple things. There was one opposition member here.
There was a member of the opposition.
Did you consider him? That is the question.
Well, I did ask if members were in agreement, and the chorus of response that I had was yes, that they wish to proceed.
Mr. Chairman, I understand what you're saying, sir, but
So I don't think I acted improperly.
well, you do not have to take a motion to do block vote if you feel it's going to be unfair to the opposition and you're going to truncate them. You don't have to accept it, sir.
I accept that I don't have to,
But you decided to.
but I did it. Okay? Let's move on to AOA1, Auditors Oversight Authority. $315,000 in 2018, $315,000 in 2019. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, all those in favor of AOA1, Auditors Oversight Authority, for $315,000 in 2018 and $315,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. CMA1, Policy Advice on Maritime Matters, $172,406 in 2018, $232,406 in 2019. Are there any questions? Aye. There are no questions. All those in favor of CMA1, Policy Advice on Maritime Matters, for $172,406 in 2018 and $232,406 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. CMA 2, Technical Advice and Support on Maritime Matters, $153,844 in 2018 and $93,844 in 2019. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, all those in favor of CMA 2, Technical Advice and Support on Maritime Matters, for $153,844 in 2018 and $93,844 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. CMA 4, State Inspections and Investigation Services, $7,896 in 2018 and $7,896 in 2019. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, all those in favor of CMA 4, State Inspections and Investigation Services, for $7,896 in 2018 and $7,896 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. CMA 5, Long Range Identification and Tracking of Ships, $85,000 in 2018, $85,000 in 2019. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, all in favor of CMA 5, Long Range Identification and Tracking of Ships, $85,000 in 2018 and $85,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. MOA 6, Regulation of the Cayman Islands Currency, $1,400,000 in 2018 and $1,400,000 in 2019. Are there any questions?
Aye.
If there are no questions, all those in favor of MOA 6, Regulation of the Cayman Islands Currency, $1,400,000 in 2018 and $1,400,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. MOA 8, Collection of Fees, $300,000 in 2018 and $300,000 in 2019. Any questions? If there are no questions, all those in favor of MOA 8, Collection of Fees, $300,000 in 2018 and $300,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. MOA 12, Regulation of the Financial Services Industry, $12,778,100 in 2018 and $12,778,000 in $100 in 2019. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair. Through
Member
you,
for
Mr. Chair.
Georgetown Central.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Can the minister say whether or not the registered banks in the Cayman Islands have a legal right to charge a fee on a check issued by the said bank?
Mr. Chair, through you, I will ask this vote in particular relates to the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority, so I will ask the Director of the Monetary Authority to assist with questions pursuant to this vote.
Cindy Scotland, Managing Director of Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. Mr. Chairman, through you, I think the question was whether they have a legal right to charge a fee on a check which I assume a customer of theirs have issued. And the answer is yes. The issue of fees are market-driven. They're not regulated. We don't have any control over what fees the banks charge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you to the representative, forgive me for my lack of understanding of the financial markets, so to speak. What I understood is that a bank can charge, say, for instance, examples we've heard so many times in the media, charge a $5 fee on a check issued by that bank, and that would be legal. Correct.
Yes, sir.
So my interpretation then, through you, Mr. Chair, is that a check would not be considered legal tender.
No, a check is not legal tender.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, through you. Are there any regulations, or as SEMA, as the regulator of banks, have they looked into what the country is on fire about with this almost seemingly coordinated and effort to take away people's homes? A perfect example. We heard the member from Prospect talk about one of his constituents, and the lady came in to me as well, and she said she did not work for 9 months. She got a job back, and she went to the Bank of Nova Scotia to pay her loan, catch up on her loan. They would not accept her payment. She went back the following month to pay again, and they would not accept her payment. Then she got her boss to go in to pay the whole back pay, and they would not accept it. Is there anything the CME can do? Is there anything it can do to look or control this seemingly organized between real estate companies and these banks and things that's going on? Is there anything there for this, for us, for the people, to protect the people?
Mr. Chairman, through you, SEMA does inquire into the lending practices of the banks, but when it comes to the issue of foreclosures, obviously we do not have a consumer protection power. And so if we receive a complaint from a member of the public, which we do quite often, that is investigated, but we use moral suasion. So we try to work with the bank and the customer. But what I will say to you that sometimes the bank has every right to do what they're doing, whether we like it or not. Because once you sign that contract for that loan, there's certain stipulations in there that you're bound to adhere to.
Minister? But, Mr. Speaker, through you?
Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
The minister wanted to make a statement.
Drama there. Yes, Mr. Speaker, just to remind the member of basically the contribution that I made to the debate about what the government is doing overall, or plans to do overall, to look at this issue, which is to complement what the director has just said. We will be engaging the assistance of the Law Reform Commission to look at the legislative landscape as it relates to mortgages, lending, etc. And as I said, because it is an issue, the way that it's governed now cuts across different pieces of legislation, including the registered land law. I'm assuming with respect to regulating lending institutions, the bank and trust law, it is something that is definitely more appropriate for the Law Reform Commission to do the kind of analysis, legal analysis that the government would need to take any sort of informed decision about how, what, if anything, needs to do from a legislative perspective.
Are there any other questions?
Mr. Chair, one more question. It's probably being advised by the DP. Through you, Mr. Chair, can we get an indication on time when we can get back the recommendations by the Law Reform Commission in respect to suggested legislative change and reform to the laws that govern foreclosures?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That is certainly not a question that I can answer, given that the Law Reform Commission is, I believe, would be under first of all, the auspices of the Attorney General's chambers. Certainly, we would need to hear from them themselves as to what their time frame to be able to do the necessary work. I can say that I will make those inquiries, but I'm certainly not in a position to even guesstimate at this stage. But I think they appreciate the fact that this is something the government is concerned about, and I'm sure they'll be more than willing to try to work as expeditiously as possible.
All those in favor of MOA 12, regulation of the financial services industry, for 12,770,000.
Mr. Chair. Has there been any indication to a recommended consumer index law? Through the Consumer Protection Commission that is that will be put in place.
I certainly can't answer whether or not over the course of this government being in operation over the many decades, whether or not there has or has not been a recommendation of that sort. No such recommendation has come to me since I took office in May 2013 for that specific law that you have said, and that's pretty much all I can answer to at this stage.
All those in favor of MOA 12, regulation of the financial services industry, for $12,778,100 in 2018 and $12,778,100 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. MOA 13, Assistance to Overseas Regulatory Authorities, $980,000 in 2018 and $980,000 in 2019. Are there any questions?
Aye.
There are no questions. All those in favor of MOA 13, Assistance to Overseas Regulatory Authorities, for $980,000 in 2018 and $980,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. MOA 14, Policy Advice and Ministerial Services, $875,000 in 2018 and $875,000 in 2019. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, all those in favor of MOA 14, Policy Advice and Ministerial Services, $875,000 in 2018 and $875,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule of the bill, to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. NGS 85, Cayman Finance Services, $750,000 in 2018 and $750,000 in 2019. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Member from Georgetown Central.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I would just like to give congratulations to this administration and particularly to the minister in this respect. The fact that this government has chosen to help fund Cayman Financial Services in the marketing of our great financial services industry is something they should be proud of, and I'm proud of the minister to step up to make sure there's allocations in that. It's something that I campaigned on, so I think it should be appropriate that I give her the public congratulations in that respect.
Thank you. I just like to, Mr. Chair, acknowledge that and say thank you very much.
He said he's sorry for abstaining on the budget
I
too.
put all those in favor of NGS 85, Cayman Finance Services, $750,000 in 2018 and $750,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
And those
Aye.
against? No. The ayes have it.
Mr. Chair, there's just one. I just want to advise the committee, just for their information, that there is a current bill out now for public consultation by Law Reform Commission on consumer protection. Just as an FYI, I didn't bring that in before, but I just wanted people to know so people are willing to or able to make whatever representations to the Law Reform Commission.
Okay. We continue. TP 58, Support for Services of the Red Cross, $70,000 in 2018 and $70,000 in 2019.
Aye.
Are there any questions? No questions. All of those in favor of TP 58, Support for Services of the Red Cross, $70,000 in 2018, $70,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. TP 69, Support for the Bridge Foundation, $105,000 in 2018, $105,000 in 2019. Are there any questions? All those in favor of TP 69, Support for the Bridge Foundation, $105,000 in 2018 and $105,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. TP 85, Support for Local Financial Services Associations, $197,000 in 2018 and $110,000 in 2019. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Member for Georgetown Central.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the minister explain the spending here? I'm assuming it's quite similar to assisting financial services in respect to marketing, but it says to the Local Financial Services Association. Can you give the committee an idea of what the money will be spent on?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will ask my chief officer to address that question in more detail.
Dax Basteo, Chief Officer, Minister of Financial Services and Home Affairs.
do so, I'll hold you in contempt.
Mr. Chair, we have
Please continue, Mr. Foster. Dax Bastille.
Mr. Chair, we have done support to the financial services industry in two parts. One part is
Mr. Chair, I apologize,
Dr.
sir,
Bastille,
but
could I just ask if you just start again?
yes, thank you.
Because there's a lot of noise across the...
Mr. Chair, we have split this support to financial services industry into two parts. The first part for Cayman Finance has just been voted on. The second part is for support to other financial services associations, for example, the Bankers Association, the Compliance Association, and others. Earlier this year, we wrote to all associations to ask them where perhaps we could work with them on events or other joint initiatives. And this vote is for various projects that they have suggested that we could work on in partnership. For example, some conferences that they want to host in Cayman, and we'll partner with them on those conferences.
There are no further questions. All in favor of TP 85, support for local financial services associations, $197,000 in 2018 and $110,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill. Please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. OE 94, Organization for Economic Cooperation Development, OECD, Global Forum, $38,000 in 2018, $38,000 in 2019. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, all those in favor of OE 94, Organization for Economic Cooperation Development, OECD, Global Forum, $38,000 in 2018 and $38,000 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, no. The ayes have it. EI 67, Ministry of Financial Services and Home Affairs, $11,865,280 in 2018 and $5,961,200 in 2019. Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Member for Georgetown Central.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the minister identify what portion out of this $11.8 million will be going towards the fire department?
Mr. Chair, I'll ask the Chief Officer to provide that more detailed information.
Mr. Chairman, of that amount, 4.788 million will be for capital expenditure related to the fire department, primarily in terms of vehicles and fixing of various aspects of the fire stations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A follow-up question through you, Mr. Chair. Can the minister tell us what portion of the 11.8 million is going to the prison?
Mr. Chair, 719,000 will be for the prison for various projects, again, to fix parts of the facilities.
There are no other questions. EI 67. All those in favor of EI 67, Ministry of Financial Services and Home Affairs, in the amount of $11,865,280 in 2018 and $5,961,200 in 2019, standing part of the schedule to the bill, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And those against, no. The ayes have it. Members, that concludes the examination of the appropriations to the Minister of Financial Services and Home Affairs. I am happy to declare that this meeting and proceedings are at an end for
Mr. Chair, I'd
today.
just like to, before you actually formally close the proceedings, say a very special thank you to the staff of the ministry as well as the various departments in financial services and home affairs, SEMA, Macy, and all other support staff that is here this evening that came down late, that's so committed, and I just want to say a big thank you.
I would never suspend proceedings without giving you that opportunity, ma'am. Shall we start? Members, that concludes the proceeding for today. We will reconvene tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. with examining the Minister Appropriations for the Minister of Education.